Item 2, Gordon Hayward, we assume, again, opts in. This is the sensible thing. There's no reason to expect otherwise. And so then comes what do you do with Gordon now? We've talked about it a bit. There were a couple of rumors that weren't really rumors. They were just like, would this deal work sort of things. They're not real. They're not
work in the trade machine.
Yeah. Nothing here is real at all. Everyone just puts the pieces together. Well, he's from Indiana. Maybe he wants to go back.
Yeah, his family's there.
Oh, not only that, John. This is what they do. They say trade a guy just because they want to get rid of him. They don't think about what's coming back. They don't think about where it's going to put the team. They just find the guy the fans, the critics of him, they find someone they're dissatisfied with, and they just say trade him. But it's like, for who? They throw Victor Oladipo out there, and you don't even think Victor Oladipo has played 54 games in 2 years, and you think Hayward's injury prone? Drives me crazy.
Yeah. Hayward's bad luck injury prone. Oladipo's got some problems that you're wondering if that gets better. So
Achilles, right? Yeah.
He's risky. We talked about Myles Turner. I think Myles Turner is the classic guy. If that were a deal, the classic guy that you would hate 20 games into the deal and be like, how long did we sign this guy for?
Yeah.
He's one of those guys.
The Mark Blount reincarnation.
Yeah. As soon as you bring him here, you start figuring out where you want to trade him.
You're like, oh, so this is why Indy was so eager to get rid of him. Yeah. Okay.
Why does all he do shoot threes? Yeah. I can see it now.
Right. Oh my God.
No. But on a serious note,
protector.
I would be interested in a Myles Turner type player, young, athletic, big, who can stretch the floor. I mean, we're just these are things that the Celtics need. So if he were to be available, on a serious note, what if I'm Danny Ainge, I'm obviously picking up the phone and seeing what type of a package they're looking for. And yeah, Gordon Hayward is kind of like that player where people are like, trade him. But listen, when we were just talking about Jason Tatum, he's a cornerstone player. You're not getting rid of Jason Tatum. You're probably not getting rid of Jaylen Brown, right? So you start going down the line here. If the Celtics do want to, I'm not even going to say the word improve, but if they do want to switch it up and try to improve,
right?
You look at guys like Gordon Hayward. You look at guys like, and I'm going to say this. I don't want anyone's head to pop up. I'm going to say Marcus Smart. I'm going to say it. I don't want any Celtics fans to chop my head off.
No, Jimmy, I'm glad you're saying these things because I want to make it clear that I don't think any of us is opposed to trading Gordon. I just think we're looking at things.
I am. I'll listen.
Are you?
I'll listen.
I'm going to hang up and listen. Okay, go ahead. Bobby in a car. I'll hang up and listen.
So this is, and this is how Danny Ainge is going to look at it. He wants value or surplus value for this guy. If you're trading Hayward now after an injury, what are you going to get for him? Yeah, you either get picks and kick the can down the road, as John said, or you're essentially treating this as a salary dump. So you're getting a bad contract back, or bad per se. Like that Oladipo thing makes sense, but I look at Oladipo and say you're getting a worse player back over Hayward. Let's not forget, Hayward shot 50% from the field, 38% from three, 85% from the free throw line. He was awesome last year.
Plus, I agree, and I'm not.
He looks like this guy.
Yeah, Bobby's got the mustache going.
You said it this time. Not me.
Listen, I'm with Bobby. I'm with you.
He's the girl that back.
Right.
In the sense that I'm not looking to trade him either, and like you said, he's going to be in the last year of his deal, so it's hard to get value like that for his situation. He's coming off injuries, and the last year of his deal, he's making a ton of money. What are you expecting to get back?
Not only that, he's a guy you could keep. What's wrong with keeping this guy?
Right. No, I agree. He's very serviceable. I'm wondering what his role is going to be next year. Will he come off the bench, or will he go back to the starting lineup?
I think you just reset it. I think you run it back. I mean,
is Marcus Smart willing to go back to the bench, or does he think he's a starter?
If he's not, then you trade him.
So let's talk about that because Josue mentioned it. Okay, right now, Josue's right. The only thing you can do here is if you deemed this cast not good enough or incomplete in some way, you have very little flexibility to make an impact move unless you find a way to trade Hayward and get something that you think is an upgrade, not trading him for the sake of trading him. It's not or Smart. That's it. That's what you got.
That's it.
And that's it.
You can throw in a couple of picks from the year before. Yeah, 2 years before, but you're not going to get there's no match value there.
That's where you are at this point. Yeah. It's not Kemba. It's one of those two guys. That's it. I mean, we're not even talking Kemba, but
I don't think they're going to move one of the core four because, like you say, they didn't get the full lineup together all year. They didn't get to work on the best five. I think there's a case that best five is never going to work. They're just too small. They don't have a center-like presence as part of it. So there's your case for trading Smart. Try to get a bigger player in his place, and he's a tradable contract. The question again, though, do you get a guy who's better than him defensively? Do you even get a guy that's better than him offensively? Like, I don't see them moving any of these core four guys and getting better. Like, it's either kicking the can down the road or getting rid of a piece, as Josue seemed to indicate, who might not want to play the role he's going to be in next year. And I don't think that's the case with him necessarily. It could be. I don't know. We'll see.
No, we're speculating. I mean, we're not saying you're going to get somebody. It's not that easy. I mean, Danny Ainge obviously wants to get better, but you might get a guy that fits better. You might get a guy that fills a void or fills a role better, and then maybe you get a second player on top of that to even out the fact that he is on the all-defense team. You know what I mean? Like, or a pick or something like that. So I'm not trying to trade Marcus Smart, but I'm just saying if you're Danny Ainge and you're looking for ways to improve, you have to look at you only have a couple guys to choose from here.
Yeah,
of value, guys of value.
Right, and those are your two guys, and I'm reluctant on the idea of trading Marcus Smart. I think that's the one that's a piece for the future. I don't think you set yourself up for a deal, and that's why I think a lot of that noise that was made over what happened throughout that series, I think that dies over in the end during an offseason. But if you see an opportunity to trade Gordon Hayward right now, which I think is really, really not, it's just not going to happen. I mean, let's face it, if that does happen, we're talking about the trade deadline maybe, if he's able to sell himself to be the kind of player that we saw last season. And the only way I'm even considering that is if we're talking about one of those 24, 25-year-old big guys who could come in and really help. Maybe not an all-star, but an everyday player.
The thing with Smart that I don't know is I view him as one of those players that I think has greater value to you than he will to anyone else. The only thing you could possibly get for Smart where someone may overpay or trade a higher level talent for him is a team that wants to change culture. And they might view him almost as like, again, I do these cross sports references all the time, but like people love signing Patriots because they want to bring in a little bit of that winning culture. And they're like, if I bring in these guys, maybe they'll get all my knuckleheads to play, But
is that really Marcus Smart? I mean, is that really?
Well, he is in the sense
that he's a Patriot? Like,
he plays hard. He's tough.
I think
that's not contagious. You don't think so, Jimmy?
Yeah, everybody talks about him as
place.
Yeah, everyone talks about him as a heart and soul type player. Like, how many coaches, opposing coaches, have we heard when we've been down at the Garden, covering games, and they talk about Marcus Smart's the heart and soul of that team.
The players believe in him. Yeah, they always say ask the players who they hate to go up against.
And the players do, and the coaches do.
Yeah. I agree. No, I agree with his style of play, and that's contagious. And the players love him, and coaches seem to love him too. Opposing coaches. All I'm trying to say is in terms of like his. I mean, John, we've talked about how he sometimes can take over a game when not necessarily anybody really wants him to. I mean, we know he has a kind of a temper. His gift is kind of his curse at times. So I'm not sure if a team looking to change the culture. I don't know if they see him. I don't know if Marcus Smart is the leader that maybe a team would take a flyer on yet. I think he has those leadership qualities. But I don't
Depends
know
on the team. I mean, there's bad places out there like Sacramento that could probably look to invest in a guy like that. And they thought about it when he was a free agent. I think there'd be a market for him. I just don't think it's the greatest idea in the world to trade him or any of the core forward. But we go back to it. They're the only guys with value on this roster. Like maybe Daniel Tice has some, maybe Robert Williams has some, but very minimal. And their picks don't have any value. So if they want to make a trade, you do have to work part of the whole guys.
All right. Well, I'm like always willing to listen. Okay. So if anybody wants to overpay for anybody, that's fine. It's just you're a rival GM and you come knocking on the Celtics door, you're looking at Jalen or Jason, or you're looking at nothing.
Exactly. Right. And I'm not getting those guys. I'm going to trade something of value.
But you're not getting those guys. Like,
and you're not getting those guys.
That's why they couldn't get Anthony Davis.
No one's giving you more value than you're getting from Hayward and Smart.
I mean, they go to the Wizards and ask about Davis Bertans. The Wizards were probably asking for Brown. And it's like, seriously? And that's what they run into every time they go to the table.
Yeah. And now you don't have –
I also just want to make it clear that I don't think Marcus Smart's a problem. Like, I don't think most
Oh, it's
Celtics
too
fans think that. I think
Too
a lot
late.
of
Everyone
it,
thinks that.
it was off promotion. You know, again, an off season will kill all that down, and everyone will be wearing their Marcus Smart jerseys and their T-shirts and all that fun stuff when the season starts.
Smart's not the problem. Brad is not the problem, but Brad.
Oh, here we go. John's Fire
Harnessing
Brad
it in.
crusade.
No, it's Brad just has to rein Smart in. That the only problem is Smart getting to do whatever comes to his brain at any point in time. Smart has value to you. He just has to stay in his lane.
And he does that when he's on the bench, and he'll be back on the bench next year.
He'll be back on the bench. And he's a more responsible role on the bench, and you want him to be a little bit more assertive on the bench. You just don't want him jacking 23-footers with, 8 seconds into a shot clock when Tatum and Brown and Kemba are on the floor. It makes no sense. So I guess
that needs to be understood. That needs to be understood next season, or else it's not going to work.
Right. Just get that in. So we're gonna pivot to free agents, but first need to tell everybody at home, of course, our wonderful sponsor, Jimmy.
CarShield,
right?
Love it.
They're everywhere.
Love it, kid.
They're everywhere. So again, for those not familiar at home, it's America's #1 auto protection company. Computer systems in cars are the new normal, from electronically controlled transmissions to touchscreen displays to dozens of sensors. Not my car. My car still has roll-up windows. But, it could cost a fortune if you got to fix something, and now is not the time for expensive repairs. CarShield has affordable protection plan that can save you thousands a year, covered repair, including computers, GPS, electronics, and more. No joke, I had a car as recently as like 10 years ago that had power, nothing.
No AC.
One. No power steering even. I didn't even know their cars were made without it.
Wow, times were tough, huh?
But we were happy. Times were tough, but we were happy, Jimmy.
Driving to Burlington? Jeez. No wonder you took your bike to work all the time.
I had to, right? No AC. I get the breeze on the bike.
No lie, John would bike to work. He would show up drenched in sweat. I was like,
now that's
happened to you? Like, dude, what just happened to you? Go shower.
Yeah. The only power in that is legs.
Yeah. All right. The people at CarShield understand payment flexibility. It's an absolute must. Plans can be customized to your needs with rates as low as $99 a month with no long-term contracts. CarShield gives you options others won't. You get to choose from your favorite mechanic or dealership to do the work, and CarShield takes care of the rest. They also offer complimentary 24/7 roadside assistance and a rental car while yours is being fixed. CarShield has helped over 1 million customers, so drive with confidence knowing you've got America's #1 auto protection company by your side. Now here's what you do. For as low as $99 a month, you can protect yourself from surprises and save thousands for a covered repair. Call 800-CAR-6000 and mention the code
Garden. Yeah, kid.
Or visit carshield.com and use the code GARDEN to save 10%. That's carshield.com, code GARDEN. A deductible may apply, kid.
All right, watch the last commercial before the Celtics the game comes back on.
Josue's gonna miss that ad when it's gone. He laughs with the same gusto every time.